Your doubt is going to cost you. Self-doubt sucks. There's no easy way to say it. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks a lot for hanging out with me. Self-doubt is with us a lot in our lives. It slows us down. It gives us a caution, a pause to let us really think through things. Other times, though, that lack of self-confidence can crush you and stop you from making the appropriate moves to get ahead. That's why some people, the risk takers, can really come out ahead in the long run. And then the people who had that self-doubt, that lack of self-confidence to make that exact same move, come back and are very bitter, very upset that they didn't take the same chance. But we're all different in our lives. We all make different choices for different reasons. A lot of times on this channel, you guys hear me say, don't hurt friends or family. You don't borrow money. You don't use credit cards. I'm a very conservative person when it comes to finances. I like to keep things nice and tight. I like to know where all the nickels and dimes are going, where I'm spending my shekels. But that same confidence I have in those abilities to manage my money have actually led me to stop making purchases that I should have made. It stopped me from making money in the long run. And that's what I want to touch on today. Go over some MTG finance information for you guys out there who are interested in a topic like this and let you know that you're not alone. Self-doubt's everywhere, man. It's out there. It can be a killer, but it can also be very beneficial in slowing down your thought process and really do a pros and cons list, as Jim would say on The Office, right? Pros and cons. Pros and cons. You got to work it out. It's not always easy, guys. But as I've played this game, Magic the Gathering, and as I've gone through the experiences of being a collector, an investor, a hoarder of this expensive cardboard, I love this stuff. I can't help but realize I could have had a lot more. My collection could be a lot larger than it is today. When I doubted myself for buying dual lands at 30, 40 bucks, when I doubted myself for paying 50, 60 and saying, maybe I'll just get 2, I won't buy 10. At the same time, buying boxes that I know were going to be hits and only buying 3 boxes or 2 boxes. And in some of these cases, I had the money. I had available cash on hand. I could have done more, but I doubted myself. I had that lack of self-confidence. Now, as I've gotten older, I have mastered a lot of this. You stop caring so much about the outside influences that can drag you down in life. The naysayers who say I shouldn't do things, if they had won, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I would have given up. For those who said I shouldn't buy that many of a certain card, I've proven most of those people wrong over the years. A few cards I actually went wrong on, but when you're not sure, you start small and you start seeing where things are going. Remember, a little self-doubt is not bad, as long as it doesn't crush you and stop you from making a move that you're pretty sure is going to be a home run hit. I'm going to give you some examples today. I'm going to go over a couple of things I've noted down the chart here because I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. When you look at Magic the Gathering as a game, collectible, investable, they are. It doesn't matter what somebody else tells me now. They are. Because I have made over my career, especially before YouTube, I hoard a lot more now than I used to. I made thousands of dollars every year buying and selling Magic cards. I know some of the rules have changed. Yes, the prices have gone up and it's a little bit harder to do it, but you still can do it if you put your nose to the grindstone, pay attention, and get the job done. Have confidence in what you want to accomplish and just go out and do it. Don't wait for somebody else to hand you something, to give you something. It's up to you. And you know your risk tolerance level. This may not be for you. It's not for everyone. Or we'd be selling a lot more Magic cards than we do nowadays, wouldn't we? Because we'd all have hoards and stashes everywhere. This conversation probably isn't for everyone. It just isn't. And that's fine. I understand this video is not going to reach as wide an audience, but for those who are interested, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stuck this out. Now, the first thing I want to show you guys, and I did things kind of as growth over years. Here's Savannah. Now, all the cards in today's video, I brought it back to 2015, okay? 2015 to give a good, even look at things. A Savannah in 2015 for a near mint copy was $75. $75. Who here nowadays would not spend $75 to get themselves a near mint revised Savannah? If you said no, you're just like, I wouldn't do it, you're lying to me. Of course you would. Who wouldn't? I would. I'd buy 20 right now if I could. I could buy 100. I would find a way. But that is looking ahead now and knowing the answer, knowing the sure thing. I just showed you a Savannah, what it cost back then. Wow, $75. If you knew that now, you could time travel like Biff, and you go back in the DeLorean, and you figure out what's going on. Yes, I understand how crazy that can be. And you would say, yes, that's a sure thing, I'm going to take that deal. But you don't know it's a sure thing. But if you followed the game long enough, there are trends when it comes to cards, prices, sealed product that kind of gives you an idea. It's not always 100%. You're risking still. This is a card game. It can go to zero. It can go out of business. They could go bankrupt. They could break every rule they've invented. They could just crash this game into the ground. That is the risk. And that is the doubt that will be nagging on you every day when you do this. Understand that. You are tying up money that you will not see any dividends on, any gains on for a really long time, guys. And you have to come to accept that. Now, when you look at this card again, the price now in 2022 is around $370, okay? $370 US for a near mint copy. Here in Canada, I think it's like $500. There's a little bit of price difference too, guys. That means the average growth on this card was $42 each and every year. Now, of course, when it comes to dual lands or any card I'm showing you today, I just did an average growth by taking the net profit of a card, dividing it over the 7 years, okay, between the two time frames. But guys, any of these cards I'm showing you, any old cards, old boxes, anything, they don't just go up at a nice even pace, do they? They kind of go like this. They go down, they crash down to the bottom of the floor like we're seeing right now. But history tells me they're going to come back up. The history of the game is 30 years long. We have a baseline to base this information on. So although I may have some self-doubt, I have the self-awareness to look ahead and push the self-doubt aside and say, I already know kind of how this is going to play out. These are good prices. I can cost compare to what it was a couple years ago. It's led me to a good place. Now, when we look at the next one, Wheel of Fortune, when we've been talking about this card on the channel, you guys know we have. Okay, 2015, this card was $20.06 US for a near mint copy. Beat up copies were $5-6. I know because I bought 6. I bought 6 of them for like $5-6 each. Moderate to heavily played each one. Now in 2022, after the big spike it had with the BGS copies and the buyouts and stuff, right now we're at $350. Okay, it was as high as $1,000 for BGS copies. $47 is the average growth year over year. It had its big spike and it's been coming down, getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And people are noticing. They're picking this card up. They're kicking aside the self-doubt, not letting it cost them and stop them from buying a card maybe they've always wanted. Yes, the price is still higher than it was back in 2015. Welcome to the real world where these cards get bought out. They get hoarded. They get manipulated by the secondary market investors and flippers. Absolutely. It's everywhere. Deal with it. You can't stop it. But when you push aside the self-doubt and you see what that card's worth, it's never going back down to $20. I wish it would too, but it's not going to go there. But is it going to go higher? Is it going to push ahead? It's already been at 1,000. So you know it's going to go back up. The question is when. And where will people be when they start buying into cards like this? The best part is my channel is not that big. Videos like this don't do that well. So you guys watching it, you'll get to judge this for yourself. You can look at other content creators, other people out there who have similar thoughts or different thoughts and different information. But it doesn't matter to me. You guys know I don't watch that many other content creators. I stick with what I like to do. And when I watch this stuff and see the money that can be made, I do have risk aversion, but I don't consider this that risky. Because I've done this before. I've been here. Now our next one, a simple one. Thrall Champion. 2015, this card was 32 cents. And most of you remember a video I did back in, I guess, late 2020, early 2021, just when the channel was starting out. I bought 50 Thrall Champions for an average of 50 cents each. It was like $25 to get 50 of them. Now let's look at it nowadays. It's trending down massively. This card was as high as 10 bucks, but right now it's at 585. So we just take a 580 as the baseline. Look at that. It's growing 78 cents a year. So it's already going wherever it's valued. Do we really think that a Thrill Champion is going back down to 32 cents? A copy for a near mint copy? Do you actually believe it's ever going back down there? Of course not. With inflation and everything else stopping us and barring things from ever getting that low, things have natural inflation to them. The rarity gets more and more. Near mint copies are so much harder to come across than people realize. I can't stress that enough. Take that for what you will, but yeah, you should be paying attention to that. I've told enough people on the channel that this shouldn't be like a big surprise. Those things that hinder us and stop us from doing these things because other people say it's a worthless $1 reserve list card that'll never go anywhere. That's great. Somebody's told you that. I've had a couple of hundred people tell me that probably in the last year. I'm still buying them, aren't I? How about City of Shadows? Soldevi Excavations, cards you guys know I enjoy in this channel. Do I let them go to zero and just say, it doesn't matter. I'd still be buying them because I believe they have somewhere to go and something to offer for the future. I see things in a different light. And I've learned that I can't let other people slow me down from the moves I want to make when I want to make them. What I believe will happen. And believing in yourself and the decisions you make and standing by them. And remember, it's okay to have a little bit of self-doubt and risk aversion just to give yourself some common sense, but not enough to cripple moves you want to make. How about this? When you look at a booster box, these were $79.99 US. Okay, I paid $99 Canadian for mine. Now they're $255 US. They're around $350, $360 in Canada. This is an average growth of $25 per year since 2015, and that's a booster box. Now, a booster box like we're seeing there, Battle for Zendikar. First time we had the expeditions. It's a sealed product. It doesn't go up as fast. It doesn't go up as much, but it just seems to keep going. Do you honestly believe that box isn't going to reach $500 Canadian? It's not going to happen. But I paid $99. Is it going to stay at $99 because that's what I paid? At home, do you naturally believe it's going to go up? Because it is. Again, it's going to go up and it's going to continue to climb. Because people are starting to realize there is a market for this stuff. It may be in a lull, maybe a quiet period. Maybe you're not interested right now. Maybe you've already shut this video off. But I'm still talking and I'm still going over this stuff. Because there are some of you out there who are watching this stuff and learning and getting the information. Now, the last one here, before we finish things off, the chat part. 2015, this was $340. By the way, I bought mine right when they came out. What was it, 2011? And I believe I paid $99 or $98.99. Now they're $1,200 a box. The average growth is $122 a year, US, for new Phyrexia. Now, I'll be honest, I sold my boxes for $400 each, $380 to $400 each. I sold them all because it was such a great profit margin. My rule of double means I have to have double the amount of profit. Totally kicked in. I sold everything. Am I mad at myself? No, because I still made profit. I still went forward. But it is a mistake because it went further than I thought it was going to. I should have kept one or two boxes behind. I've learned from that mistake. I don't just sell off when things are going high anymore. I spread things out, a more even spread. And I buy more than just 3 or 4 boxes whenever I can, whenever I have the ability to do so. Learning from those mistakes and carrying forward, but also not overreaching and over-risking. I'm not going to put things on a credit card that I can't pay off. I'm not going to put food on the table and feed myself. It is a balance. And the same can be said for any of the single cards I'm showing you, any of these sealed products, and this would extend out to things like even secret layers, which I don't really like. You guys are not, I'm not very fond of those products. To say they're not worth money is ridiculous. Of course they are. Of course they are. When you look at commander decks, they're not going to go up. Of course they're going to go up. Because eventually you have those people out there who want to get into these products, who want to experience older stuff that they may never have had a chance. And yes, the game goes in cycles. And some of these products won't sell for years and years. You're right, they won't. Finding the right buyer at the right time are all extra risks that stop people and hinder them and offer that self-doubt, which stops a lot of the general populace from ever getting in to that kind of sealed collecting or singles market. It's a lot of risk. It's a lot of capital to tie up with no chance for a reward until much later, 7 to 9 years down the road. It's probably why a lot of people don't do it and don't dive into it. But like I said, I learned a long time ago that self-doubt, it's going to cost you money. It's going to stop you from doing things. If you got an extra bonus on your paycheck and you're doing well, maybe you should invest some of it. Maybe here in Canada, we have RSPs. Put some money away. Put it for the rainy day. Save some. Build for the future. Don't just take the fancy trip. Don't just soup up the car. Right? Keep money aside to repair that car. That's that moderation. Instead of buying a case and cracking everything, maybe keeping one box sealed away. Before you spend $100 on new singles, maybe buy a couple of mid-range reserve list cards that will have future value down the road, or better yet, save for that first dual land. Maybe you don't care. Maybe that doesn't interest you. But if it does and you've always doubted yourself, that's where you have to ask that question saying, how much am I going to let, number one, other people influence me and tell me not to do something, right? Sometimes there's good reasons for that, right? But if you have extra liquid disposable income and you want to do something like that, you're not hurting anyone, and it's, you know, it can't be money you actually need. It's like investing in an actual stock then, isn't it? Except for this stock you get to enjoy and play with, which is the real upside I find to Magic the Gathering. I get to play and enjoy this game. I had my sisters and family doubt me for years. They don't doubt me anymore. I doubt myself sometimes with new products like Dominaria United, and I wonder if I should be buying as much as I'm going to buy. But then I realize I've been through this before. Take a deep breath. In the long run, it always seems to work out. Just, you know what I'm saying? I just thought I would share that with you guys today. Some of those emails, some of those conversations I have with people about doubting things or ever wanting to do something, trying to save for that first dual land, and I know how you feel. I mean, I have notes here where it's like, okay, I bought dual lands when they were $50, right? I only bought 6. I should have bought like 60. I skipped out on buying more boxes of Journey into Nyx when Face to Face had it for like $66 a box. I should have bought more than 6 boxes. Those kind of things make me realize where I've come, you know, where I am now versus where I've been. You know, because those boxes aren't, you know, 70, 60, $50 anymore. These aren't always going to be a $50 item. They're going to, you know, things appreciate with age. And when you wonder who you're going to sell to, just take a look at the sold listings. You can look up this information and get history to see how things are selling. Selling at a later date, that's something we can cover in another video. But self-doubt is going to cost you. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here on the channel with me. Hope you guys found this informative and helpful. And if not, hey, at least you stuck around to the end to say, what's up? All right, guys, have a great day today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey guys, a big shout out to all the fantastic patrons on the channel. Thank you so much for that support, guys. Without you, videos like this wouldn't even be possible. If you want to join my Patreon, you can check to see if there's a slot open. I'll see you soon. Well, you're here. I saved a couple for you. Mox Amber, average cost basis, $7.26 Canadian. Time Vault, Collector Edition, average cost basis, $27 US. Plateaus, revised, average cost basis, $58. Underground Seas, revised, average cost basis, $60. Want me to start getting into the boxes? You see where I'm going with this, right? People have said you can never do this, Mox Man. It's never going to be possible. I'm glad I didn't let them push in enough self-doubt that I stopped myself from doing it. Don't let that happen to you either. Make smart choices. Research. But you know what? Somebody else telling you that you can't do something, it's really them saying they can't do it. Have a great day, everyone.